Hello and welcome to Winchester News Online. I'm Elliot Norton. Coming up today, St Clement's Surgery has opened its doors at a new location. A woman is set to cycle to the Alps. And is Winchester's newest sandwich shop worth a visit? Where's your go-to place in Winchester on a night out? The city is home to various pubs, bars and entertainment venues, but one particular nighttime venue is missing. Kieran Tibbett explains more.
A live band at O'Neill's, a late night pint at Alfie's or a boogie at the Broadway. These are just some of the options people in Winchester have when planning their night out. But what's missing?
Winchester is the only major city in Hampshire not to have a specified nightclub, but that could soon change.
The building that was home to the old vodka nightclub is now under offer with Godesbury estate agents, and its reopening might just be closer than you think.
The building has been closed since 2022 and just last year was subject to a drugs raid by the police. Since then, it's been left empty and has been on the market for quite some time.
Winol asked Winchester City Council, Winchester Business Improvement District and Godesbury estate agent for a comment, but they were all unable to provide a response. However, members of the public had their say on whether Winchester really needs to see its nightclub return.
Yes!
There's not much variety.
No, it's a bit rubbish. Like, it's the same thing every week.
Yeah.
I think Winchester does need a nightclub. Because at the end of the day, we're limited to only about 3 venues that are actually open after midnight.
No, it definitely doesn't need one because we already have loads of not very nice places on a night out.
I think there's only one club open and it's Student Union on like a Wednesday. I think it could definitely do with like another nightclub somewhere else to go, somewhere specifically for clubbing basically.
Pretty dead, to be fair, on a night out, and it's not that exciting.
Whilst we wait to see where the future will take Vodka Nightclub, the partygoers of Winchester must continue to enjoy what is already on offer. Kieran Tibbett, Winchester News Online.
Winchester St Clement's Surgery has moved and patients are now being welcomed to the new facility. Mariella Southern got to have a look around and spoke to the artist behind the Winchester-themed windows.
St Clement's Surgery has been prescribed a new location. Having been based on Tanner Street since the 1960s, its doors are now open from a brand new building on Upper Brook Street.
It's been a very, very long process trying to find somewhere that we could build a new surgery, and that process started really in the kind of 2010s. And then, of course, we had the pandemic, which really pushed things back. But it also gave us an opportunity to really design a building that would work for the future. We're going to have lots and lots of new space, so we're hoping to really expand our primary care team, our GP team. We're hoping to expand our nursing team. We're really excited that we have physiotherapists here. We've got mental health nurses who work with us. We are so well set up for catering for the university students here. We are very, very proud to offer top-class contraceptive services as well.
If you've visited St Clement's Surgery in its new location, you will have noticed a rather large mural of the city. The man behind it, a local artist named Jonathan.
I've been living and working in Winchester for over 15 years now, and over that time I've produced quite a few Winchester images. So we had a few that were already sort of working quite well, but to create work for the windows we had to take a few of those and then adapt them and add to them. So we created a couple of new pieces to make it into a collage of Winchester images. Winchester is the perfect combination for me. It has lots of historic architecture and interesting buildings, but when you look out across the city, it has a mixture of urban and beautiful trees and parks and things. So it's the right mix for me of urban and rural, and it's beautiful to paint from.
Mariella Southern, Winchester News Online.
Struggling with connecting to the internet in the city centre? A Winol exclusive investigation by Maeve Corbett explores the poor data coverage in Winchester.
For the last few years, people across Winchester have been complaining about a wide range of subjects, but one prevailing annoyance is the poor data connection throughout the city. From the High Street to the university, I've been investigating just how bad it gets. Here's a test. Will it load?
I've checked the data coverage and public opinion in 3 areas of Winchester. A good speed is around 20 megabytes per second or more.
We're at Winchester Cathedral, one of the city's most famous landmarks, and I've got a speed test app on my phone. Let's check. Struggling to connect. And now in megabytes per second, we've got around 15, 16, and that's on the download speed. Kind of how the signal's been working for you while you've been here?
Right, it has not been working at all, to be honest. It's been very poor.
Yeah, I tried to connect before Instagram, but yeah, it was not loading.
Sometimes in some places quite good, but I find that other times, especially like in town, certain places are pretty rubbish.
Even struggling to connect is a bad sign.
Okay.
There we go.
Sometimes it's very slow, but sometimes it's normal, and sometimes it's very good. So it's a mix, really.
But like nothing goes through, and I have to try and connect to Wi-Fi's, but they also don't work. So it kind of sucks, really. But yeah.
Even in the university, the app struggles to connect.
It just drops out all the time, and yeah, if there's no Wi-Fi, then you're pretty screwed.
It's absolutely awful wherever you go. Do something about it, Winchester, please.
Unfortunately, a 7-year-long thread on Vodafone's official website complaining about the poor coverage suggests it won't be solved anytime soon. Maeve Corbett, Winchester News Online.
Thank you, Maeve. You can find their full report on the Winol website. Plans for a 15% council tax increase by the Hampshire County Council has been rejected by the government. The council was told it would need to have a referendum if it wanted to increase council tax by over 5%. Council leaders said they needed more funding in order to deal with increasing prices, particularly in relation to the costs caused by the national insurance increase. The university schedule could be set for a major shake-up next year, with changes potentially being made to the breaks. Lenny Teague found out more.
The University of Winchester may be removing reading weeks from next year. The academic calendar for 2025 to 26 has been revealed, with the Christmas and Easter breaks being made shorter, while the reading weeks have not been included in the schedule, and that has sparked concern among some students.
During reading weeks I like to work and earn a bit of money, so I find that really useful in catching up with the uni work and earning some money.
I think I'd be disappointed because it's a good chance for students to get a break considering there's no half terms.
Well, I quite like the idea of reading week. Sort of gives you a week to recharge, a week to just get reading done and stuff like that. I know I have friends who go to other universities who don't actually have a reading week or anything, and I just prefer it. I think it's a good idea. I like having it. I don't think it should be removed, really.
The UCU, which represents lecturers of the university, were critical of any potential removal of reading weeks, citing staff exhaustion as a primary reason why the breaks were initially reintroduced. Their concerns around any removal centre on the well-being of both staff and students, while they also highlighted that when reading weeks do not correspond with half terms, this has an effect on members with caring responsibilities, many of whom are women, which could be an equality issue. I also approached the Winchester Student Union for a comment, but they are yet to respond.
Students at the University of Winchester will certainly be disappointed if reading weeks are removed from the academic calendar. The changes to the schedule are yet to be confirmed, but it looks like there will certainly be some major differences next year. Lenny Teague, Winchester News Online.
Winchester High Street is declining in its variety of independent stores every day. Charlotte Pashley spoke to the people of Winchester to see how they feel.
In 2024, retail research found that closures of independent stores accounted for 84% of all stores shutting. In Winchester already in 2025, Earthian, the Dispensary Kitchen, the Eclectic Hound, Winchester Bakery and Blueberry are all of the recent independent stores to close.
It has meant that more chains in Winchester are littering the streets. I speak to the public to learn more.
There's more chains than there should be. In a place like Winchester where it's all pretty and all kind of old-timey, it should be a lot more independence, but, you know, we went to a Tesco and it's like, why is that in Winchester?
Generic ones are just so boring, some of them, and you can be anywhere in the country and have the same store time and time again, and you know, you just like to see something different every now and again.
Really shop in Winchester.
Yeah.
We prefer to go to Amazon or Southampton. Winchester is a little bit more avant-garde. It's a little bit more upmarket.
Yeah, especially on the high street, it's sad because I think it would be a really great opportunity to be able to have more independent stores lining the high street because it's such a beautiful street to walk down, but it does seem to be prices are always raising, you're always seeing empty stores, and it's just a shame that you can't see some more places where they're like local businesses.
I spoke to Winchester City Council, who said the council doesn't actually have a decision in which businesses are in the high street. It would be down to the owner of the building itself and market demand. Charlotte Pashley, Winchester News Online.
Winchester travelled to playoff chasing Walton and Hersham this weekend as they looked for a third win in a row. I went up to Surrey to catch the action. It was a nightmare start for Winchester in blue as Walton and Hersham took the lead inside 5 minutes as Ralph Figras took advantage of the visitors' slow start. Things went from bad to worse for the citizens as Joel Powell went on a superb run before firing in a second. The second goal seemed to wake Winchester, and a well-worked attack saw the deficit halved as Tommy Wright's deflected effort gave the citizens some hope. The second half started as the first ended, as Winchester continued to push for an equaliser. Eventually, the pressure told as Ike Hill beat his man, firing the citizens level. Winchester looked to capitalise on their momentum and score a third, but it was Walton and Hersham who found their form from the first half, restoring their lead with less than 10 minutes left to play. Winchester threw bodies forward in the dying minutes as they tried to get something from the game, but it was Walton and Hersham who scored again, restoring their 2-goal lead, sealing the victory and securing all 3 points.
I think it flatters them, that, not in terms of possession because they had lots of the ball, but we had a lot of chances in that second half. We didn't quite take. They didn't have very many in the second half. So yeah, I think it does flatter them. I thought we deserved something from the game today, to be honest.
The result here today sees Winchester fall to 16th in the league table, with teams around them having games in hand. Elliot Norton, Winchester News Online. Now that 2025 is in full flow, the basketball season is back underway. Charlie Blake was able to speak to the team's captain to find out how their season is going and what 2025 will have to offer for the team.
With the Christmas break just being finished and the basketball season being well underway, I spoke to the captain of the Winchester Knights basketball team to find out how the season's going so far, what needs to be improved on, and how the rest of the season's going to shape up.
Ruben Wertheim, I'm basketball captain for the Winchester Knights basketball team at this university. I think it's been going on the most part well. We're currently 5-4, still in the cup as well, and at the moment we're actually second in the league as well, despite the fairly even record. So yeah, I'd say it's going pretty well. Our toughest game was probably in the cup, I'd say, against Cardiff Met. They're a really, really good team, really good outfit, and their first team as well is also at a very high level, so they play some really good basketball. We actually ended up winning the game by 1 point as well, which was really impressive from the boys, I think. So out of the league games, that's probably been our toughest one so far. They're obviously a much bigger university than us. They've got their own coach and everything, which means that in theory we're actually an underdog.
Yeah, the season's been going really well. I think we've grown as a team much better. I think we've got better management of the team this year. I think better coach in general. Overall, I think team chemistry has definitely got a bit better. I think plays have definitely developed as well. We're definitely moving the ball a lot. I think we're understanding each other a bit more on and off the court and chemistry-wise.
When we're playing harder competition, everyone seems to be more up for it, which in the next few games of the season we've got Southampton, and then we've got Southampton away in the league again, and then we've got Bournemouth as well, who are also hot on our heels, and then we've got Varsity, which we want to get our almost revenge game from the last season.
With 4 games left to play, let's see what the Winchester Knights have to offer this upcoming year. Charlie Blake, Winchester News Online.
And now to rugby and a Counties 1 Hampshire game between Eastleigh and Bognor in what was a highly anticipated encounter. Our reporter Connor Johnson braved the cold to see how the Pirates got on in their latest league match.
With both teams unable to get the win last time out, they both would want to start quickly, and this is exactly what Bognor and Connor Harrington did, scoring inside the first 3 minutes after a fumble by Eastleigh and resulting in the full 7 points for Bognor. Bognor continued to knock on Eastleigh's door for a second score, with this line out 5 metres away, but Eastleigh's defence holding firm and coming away with a turnover. Bognor through Harrington again probed to extend their lead, but this kick and chase being thwarted by Paul Fordio didn't allow him to do so. Tensions were running high throughout between both teams, and even got a bit too much for Eastleigh coach Steve Walken getting in the face of one of the officials. But Eastleigh were to put that to one side, and after a high tackle on Matt Chandler, resulting in a chance for them to get on the ball through Aaron Barn, and cut the lead to 4 with just over 15 minutes left. Something had to give with both teams getting more irritated as the match wore on, and that showed as tempers boiled over after a late hit on Julian Dale, resulting in yellow cards for Paul Frudio and Matt Knoll for Bognor, with the referee awarding the penalty to Bognor for retaliation, enabling Josh Turner to take his total for the day to 5 and restoring Bognor's 7-point lead. With time ticking away, Eastleigh had one last chance in Bognor's 22, but unable to convert with their line-out faltering and handing Bognor the win, but went home with a losing bonus point. In a game that led to very many chances, it was Bognor who came out on top and took their chance when it came to them. Eastleigh's discipline let them down today, but they hope for better luck next time at home against New Milton. Carl Johnson, Winchester News Online.
A Hampshire physiotherapist will be cycling more than 700 miles for charity. Our reporter Rebecca Perez-Taylor spoke to her to learn more about her adventure.
Becky Hobson will be cycling from Staines to the Alps in March, and so will be needing help from strangers to achieve her goal.
So the idea came probably just before COVID, when I thought about trying to get a tandem bike and seeing how far you could get in Europe just by getting strangers to go on the back and see where you would end up. And then obviously COVID happened and sharing a bike with people wasn't really the thing to do. And then I thought about the idea again and thought it would be a good way to raise money. And I wanted to support Access Adventures for a little while.
So he won't only be riding from Staines to the Alps, but he will also be volunteering once he gets there.
They do a ski camp in the Alps every year in Val Thorens. And so I've gone out there twice before with them. And so I thought I'd try and cycle from their base, which is in Staines, to the ski camp and see if I can get there in time.
But why does he decide to support this charity?
Done a bit of volunteering with them and I really see the difference they make. And so I thought I want to try and support them. They're only a small charity.
You can follow Becky's journey on Instagram on @HumansOfTheTandem and can also support her by donating to her Just Giving page, also called Humans of the Tandem. Rebecca Perez-Taylor, Winchester News Online.
Last year, London Marathon saw record numbers of applicants, with a clear growing popularity for running. Our reporter Francesca Pritchard went to find out about a running group right here in Winchester.
Locally founded groups can be at the heart of thriving communities. Here in Winchester, it is no different, as a group of local girls set up a running club in September 2024. I caught up with the girls to see how they've been getting on.
And we talked about how there wasn't a run club in Winchester, and you kind of were like, well, let's just make one.
Girls That Run offer both 3 and 5k groups for experienced runners and those who are beginners.
So I've been looking for something like Girls That Run for years. I tried a couple of other running clubs and found them just a bit too intense, whereas this is so social.
The group meet on Sundays, and often, after runs, they come together for a coffee. It is clear that they don't only prioritise fitness, but also maintaining a social aspect, like today's event, Pizza Party, where I found out why some of the girls joined the group.
I found it really boring trying to run by myself, and I saw on Instagram that there was a girls running group starting in Winchester, so I decided to join. It was really small when I started, it was like 4 people, my running group. But it's just nice to have people to run with.
Having spoken to the girls and hearing about how their fitness has improved since joining, I then wanted to find out if there were any benefits for the members' mental health.
So having a way of meeting new people locally has made a huge difference. And I just think, you know, I started in December and have come through December and all of January. and having a reason to get out when it's a bit miserable and grey. And
the group's Instagram page cites that we want to create a comfortable environment for everyone and build a community where people feel welcomed. I asked members how they felt.
It's just a nice community to join.
Girls That Run meet most Sundays, and this year they will be competing in Winchester's 10k run. For more information, check out their social media pages. Francesca Pritchard, Winchester News Online.
Winchester University alumni Sam Bishop has been writing music for the last 10 years, with a new single set to release on Friday. Emily Byway has a small snippet of their interview.
Sam Bishop, a local original artist, has been releasing music for the last 10 years, with big plans for the year ahead. After 2 years with no new releases, Sam is releasing Just a Little this Friday, entering back into the spotlight.
The first thought for me never really was when can I sort of perform live. The first thought was how can I write. Once that starts to flow is the feeling of like, wow, this is amazing. It's when you get so many home runs in the writing process, come one after another. As in, like, you get a melody and you get a good lyric and you get so many things, it just all starts to come together. It's that feeling of like, wow, this is coming together, is just magic.
The song Just a Little, how long have you been working on that?
I was traveling from Miami to Los Angeles. It's like a 5-hour flight, I think. I was like, I don't want to sort of watch a film. I want to do something a bit more creative and a bit more fulfilling. So I was like, I'm just going to try and write something, just like something a bit fun, something a bit different. And I started just writing this, like, the chorus for Just a Little. Then, so it's been sort of initially penned from August.
What are you most excited for people to hear, people to see with the song coming out on Friday?
Oh, good question. What am I most excited for? I think I'm most excited for people to just hear a different sound from me and something that is just very, very, very personal.
What plans have you got coming up this year? Have you got any other songs that you're wanting to release? What have you got for a little?
I haven't released a song for about 2 years, and I knew as soon as I finished this, as soon as like I part the lyrics, and then I got the song back from Toby, I was like, yeah, no, this is the one. This is like my re-release of like my music as an original artist. But in terms of what's next after Just a Little, I think, yeah, it's definitely the start of this new sound. I want to do another few songs like this, something current, something like vulnerable but commercial. I think a few more will come. I think maybe 1 or 2 before the end of the year.
Sam's going to be performing in over 25 venues across the next 3 months, following the release of Just a Little on Friday. Our full interview is on YouTube now. Emily Byway, Winchester News Online.
And finally, Isabel Jones went into Winchester's newest sandwich shop to find out what all the hype is about.
The rise of Needed, an independent sandwich shop located in the hustle and bustle of the high street. The grid-worthy sandwiches, picturesque baked goods and artistic coffees, they all look to be the part. But is it just for the gram? I spoke with the manager to get a scoop of what's going on inside.
So this is my first role as a general manager. I was supervisor over at Carby before, and I thought I'd put my like name in the hat and got this one. So it's been a big stretch. Obviously opening straight into the Christmas market. Like one day we were cleaning the place, and the next day we're serving like 200, 300 people.
Why did you want to open up a sandwich sort of bakery coffee shop?
Well, ironically, we thought it was going to be like the only one. It was going to be the only one, and then about 2 weeks before we opened it here, obviously Two Hands has opened up just around the corner as well. So they had the luxury of being the first sandwich shop in Winchester, at least independent sandwich shop. But we've got quite, I think from my experience, quite a good relationship with them anyway. It's not like a gang war, a postcode war across the roads over the sandwich shops.
The business has just acquired a 5-star hygiene rating just yesterday afternoon. So now that we know it's safe to eat there, let's have a look what they've got on offer.
Right, so this is one of their sandwiches. This is the Reuben Toasty. So it's got salt beef, cheese, pickles and sauerkraut in it. So I'm going to give it a live review for you guys, see if this is worth the visit. Cheers. I've got to be honest, guys, this is one of the nicest toasties I've actually tried. That's so good. I've been Isabel Jones and I've gotten exactly what I needed.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.